Right. Back to another tabletop trash gaming episode.
Yeah.
Um, it is I again, your host Matthias. Again, joined with the boys,
John over here.
And Travis.
our little trash crew we got here.
Gotta have garbage to put in the can, bro.
That's
Hey
true.
man, some stuff you just need a dumpster.
Plastic's recyclable, so.
We don't talk about 7th edition, Matt, all right?
This is true. It's dark time, dark time. So, you guys been doing anything? Playing games?
I played a game with Matt last week with Custodes versus Thousand Suns. That was
Oh.
I'm never doing that ever again. Felt kind of bad.
Yeah, we don't-
Okay.
It was 1,000 points. So small battlefield. So long story short, first turn my Terminators got deleted.
Okay.
And then I got into combat the next turn, and the game was just over.
Yes.
Yeah, I charged my Demon Prince into his captain. That was like a 3-up Binvol save, and that was just
You fool.
and -1 to hit, and I was just like, this was a mistake.
Custodians do one thing, and that is super duper not die.
Yep.
I mean, I would have won. Maybe, if I did not charge my Demon Prince in. I would have lost my entire army, but if I didn't charge the Demon Prince in, I might have won.
Typical Zinch denial.
I think if you got that psychic power the second time, that would have.
Yeah, it also
Oh,
didn't
wow.
help that I failed my Infernal Gateway.
Oh. I would say I feel bad, but I don't, so.
Yeah. Whatever.
Speaking of Banana Boys, I've been buying more Banana Boys.
Make me sick.
I can't wait for them to come. Some people call me a bandwagoner. I call it fun.
Yeah, that's fair. I have my my Custodes Terminators coming in.
Alaris or Aquilon?
Alars. Alars.
Is that how do you say it?
The Alars, the 4-year-old ones with the Storm Bolters and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, what are they called? The Aquilons, right?
No, are they? Oh, Aquilons. Your Alaris are the plastic ones. My bad.
Oh,
I already have
okay.
Alaris. Yeah, the Aquilons. Yeah.
I was like, I
There
don't
we go.
remember. There's so many different types.
You guys
They're all
call
golden.
yourself true golden boys? Can't even get the names right.
Yeah.
It's a 4-year-old unit. That's my excuse.
Mhm.
Nice
I was
excuse.
blinded by all the money I spent on it.
I played, in addition to John, I played with one of our other friends, Raven Guard. It did not go well for him.
Okay. Oh, we're talking about yes.
Yes, we're
Yeah.
talking about one of our other friends.
Yes.
Paulo?
Yeah,
Okay.
it did not go well for him, unfortunately.
No, that whole night was a bust.
He did have a big nasty unit of aggressors, which I decided to just ignore because was that 18 wounds on that unit? Yeah, it was disgusting. I couldn't have mortal wounds to kill that unit, so I just ignored him and pretty much just took out everything else. And
Yeah, that worked out.
D Suns did their job. I didn't run Magnus because my whole group was very worried about my Magnus smite spam.
Yeah, and guess what happened to that? It's dead, man. It's dead.
Yeah, we'll get to
Should have
that.
done it while I had the chance.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Oh man, you should have seen the messages I was getting.
Yeah, it was like hate speech, and you're not allowed back in the group. Get out, or you're banished forever.
They were not happy about it, so I'm like, I won't run Magnus. So I ran 2 Demon Princes in Ahriman.
I'll spam smite a different way.
So now you can actually spam smite.
I didn't spam smite, but
No.
yeah, it did not go well. I took out a unit and a captain turn 1.
Yeah, rolling that
With
6 on your gateway.
I did 7 wounds with Infernal Gateway
Oof.
on the captain because of the warlord trait that my that I had. They gave me +1 to mortal wounds. Oh god. Ah, it was beautiful. But that was my experience. So, I went from getting my ass kicked by the Custodes to kicking the Raven Guard's ass.
As the dice circles.
Yes.
I just have a small note here, boys. What is this? What's this Warhammer loot crate I'm looking at here? What do you know about this?
It's not for America or Canada, so rip.
Oh, well,
Oh,
perfect.
really?
Yeah.
You're saying I can't buy junk for a
But is it-
reasonable price?
I don't think it's a literal loot crate. I think it's models, right?
It's models, yeah.
That's so interesting. It's a mystery bag of models. All right, sure.
Can I just apply for it and then my American address?
I vacation in America.
I genuinely think it's like models that aren't as popular because okay, I can speak for the 40k one, but the Age of Sigmar one has like the world's worst Underworlds or least popular Underworlds teams on there. So I don't know. I kind of looked at that and playing that game and just laugh. It's like, wow, it's that team. Of course, no one wants it.
Well,
kind of crazy.
it's funny you should mention Underworlds because they just announced their last two teams for what is it, Beastgrave?
Yeah, the season 3 essentially.
Yeah, we got some these big orcs,
Iron Jaws or Black Jaws or
mega
something?
knobs.
Yeah. Medieval mega knobs. Yep.
Oh god, that yellow armor is so beautiful.
And then we got the Daughters of Cain. Well, and
Yes.
my girls there. Now I'm not too familiar with Underworlds, unfortunately, because I'm not big into the whole card game aspect of stuff. Just because I know that all my cards are going to be rotated out, which makes sense. You got to keep the game fresh and all.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your opinion on the state of the game thus far? I would say you're more of the expert of this group on it.
So yeah, I've actually played a lot of Underworlds since it came out back when it was called Shadespire before they realized they should call it Underworlds and not the first season's name. But it is very much a card game in the sense where it's very card driven. Like you get war bands because there's universal cards there that are good for you. Blah blah blah. And yes, the cards do rotate. I believe season 1 cards were now rendered obsolete except for the faction cards, which was to be expected because again, it is a card game. You gotta, like you mentioned, you gotta keep the game fresh. Now, one thing I really like about the newest season is that the new war bands have enough cards in them where you could run a deck of just faction specific cards, and by that I mean you don't need to worry about universal cards, which means that you don't need to worry about deck building, which is kind of like list building could be a pain in the neck of like, oh gosh, is this efficient? Should I run this X, Y, and Z? So back when pre-pandemic days, me and my Underworlds group were just playing like, hey, let's just play this faction, use the faction cards, and just have fun because it was just like enjoying the gameplay. Because I genuinely think this is probably Games Workshop's most balanced game in terms of mechanics, mainly because they primarily focus on balancing this game as opposed to just making cool stuff and then going from there, like the other games. So it's
What are you
really
talking
fun.
about?
I highly recommend it. It's super cheap, especially if you have someone with a board already. So if you're like for example, if Matt, you just want to play some Daughters of Cain, like you can just grab that kit, and we could throw down and just use the faction deck they provide you. And I'll bring like my Nurgle team or something. I have all the teams because like you could own all Underworld's warbbands for the cost of like a 40k Age of Sigmar army. It's a very small. It's not even. I wouldn't even call it a war game. It's more of a board game. So. But yeah, I think the game's in a good spot. Lots of warbands coming out. It's kind of cool. It's an excuse to just release random models. Like I know Daughters of Cain, like that's a cool like witch elf there, or the HQ version. I mean, right in the middle, which not kind of hard to like tie it into a bigger release for Daughters of Cain. But hey, here's some random models for Underworlds you could totally use in Age of Sigmar or Warcry or whatever. So. Yeah, it's a cool little game.
It's what I've always liked about the Underworld models. You know, you can use them. They have their own little uh tome that they can be used in Age of Sigmar as a characters, basically named character squad. And the models that I've seen, all of them look good.
Yeah, and again, I want to point out the affordability of this game. Like all of these guys are $30, which is crazy. Like,
You sound like you work for Games Workshop or something.
whoa.
Temporary.
But yeah, it's fun. Definitely would recommend it. Just again, if you have someone who has a board, it's worth trying out. Just getting a warband and there.
Don't tell Raul that.
He's already bought like everything.
Oh no!
There you go.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't think he's gone into Beastgrave yet, but I mean
Oh.
everything, Underworlds and Shadespire. I'm pretty sure he got all that.
So, just a question as somebody who has no idea about any of this stuff.
Mhm.
I've only played Warcry. It's basically as far into fantasy as I've ever gotten. Does it kind of go both ways in that these models, like these Daughters of Cain models, have Sigmar tomes? Can you also, if you wanted to use your own Daughters of Cain models from the existing line, do they have rules for that in Underworlds?
So it's a good question actually. No, yeah, I mentioned that. These are all teams. So let's say you play. Gosh, it's been a while. So I don't know. Let's say you have a Skaven team of Travis's boys, or Travis's whatever noun Skaven uses. So that team is composed of those special character models. So each of those Skaven dudes have their own name. Like each of these orc guys have their own name.
Mm-hmm.
And this team is only this team. You can't swap them out. I mean, you could use alternate models. You could see some sick conversions on Instagram or on the Underworlds Facebook page of conversions. But essentially, you'll be using that team, and the only customization gameplay wise is swapping cards out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's very pick up and play in that sense. But at the same time, if someone is into like the whole customization, your dude's part, it's not very good for that.
Yeah, but that sounds awesome though. It's an interesting, unique Games Workshop game stacked up against the others anyway.
Yeah.
I would definitely give it a try. So now that we got with that little bit of the news out, so let's go into some stuff that we talked about last podcast that became breaking news that we didn't talk about because we ran out of time. But GW is sending out early data sheets in their building model buildings.
I know, this is madness.
So the first one we got here is the Lich Guard and the Preatorians here.
Preatorians, right? So I would correct myself from last week's episode. I was freaking out that these guys had 2 wounds. Turns out they've always had 2 wounds. So I was being happy for no reason, but they still got buffs on the other department. Well, at least the Preatorians got a huge buff from what I see, in that their the Staff of Light is now or Rod of the Covenant, whatever the rate their 200 weapon is now damage 2, which is pretty crazy in this era of Primaris. You could just delete a squad, by shooting or by just charging them normally, and they got +1 attack along with the Lich Guard. So that's the big change. Forget me oogling over having two health for this unit, because they already did, but having an extra attack and some damage buffs to the Praetorian weapons is the big news here, which Necron players are pretty happy from what I hear. I know, Travis, you played Necrons way longer than me and Matt. What do you think?
Oh god. I mean, yeah, that's having flat 2 damage, access to that, especially as the edition, like the meta for the edition is looking thus far, which is Primaris are back on the menu. They never left. Custodes, like just big beefy multi-wound models, having the 2 damage flat is a nice reliable way to start picking those up, which is nice. So yeah, always gonna be good, as long as it's not too expensive points wise.
And it'll always be the thing.
Right.
I'm just happy to see that these models might actually get some play, because I mean, close combating 40k has never been great, to say the least.
Especially for Necrons.
Especially for next. So hopefully they're affordable, I guess I would say, and people will take them. We'll find out on that. I just want to bring something up. How do you guys feel about these new symbols?
Oh, that's like 100%. They didn't want to translate it into like 5 different languages, guaranteed.
Well,
And that's what everyone's saying.
They also have those symbols in something similar in Warcry.
Yeah.
Yes.
I noticed when we were playing that game, and I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it. I mean, it's a little wonky. I think some of the choices for the symbols in particular are a little weird, but I mean, I don't mind the system.
Yeah, it took me a while. I mean, it took me a while to figure out what everything is. Just because I know usually what the weapon profiles are, and I've been playing this game for over a decade. I know what each of those symbols are supposed to mean. It just threw me aback because I'm like, what does this mean? What? Fist? That toughness? No, it's strength.
Oh. Why is this Necron an Imperial Fist?
Threw me off a bit. All right. So, moving on to the next one. We got the Spyder.
The Spyder.
So I haven't been paying much attention to this one, but apparently it got a buff in the attacks department, which is good. So I don't know. I haven't seen this unit much being used. From what I remember, it's like the Necron Tech Marine can repair stuff. Look at us comparing everything to Primaris now. What have we become? It repairs vehicles and brings scarabs back to life. So I mean, if it means more play for this guy, I'm all for it. I'm not complaining there.
Yep. Did he bring back scarabs back to life, or did he just make scarab?
Previously he made scarabs. He made a whole unit, like a separate unit, and then could add to it. But I'm not sure exactly what the wording is.
I think now you just regen a scarab unit if it loses models, which is kind of hilarious if you do that detonate stratagem where they just explode, bring the scarabs back.
Little suicide scarabs. They've been watching the orc bomb squigs.
Then moving on to the next one, we got the Invictor Warsuit.
Oh baby.
Now, Travis, you ran one of these against me.
Mm-hmm.
Feel about this?
It's a little spicy. I'm actually having some technical difficulties. My mouse just died, so I can't get to the photo. I know it's highly unfortunate. Why don't you guys talk about it for a second? I'm gonna go grab another mouse.
Right.
The heavy bolter is now 1 shot, 2 damage. It's kind of interesting.
Got the going by from what I've seen so far on changes, the Iron Hail Stubbers is listed together as a heavy 8. The autocannon is now AP2. Cindium now strength 6. Heavy bolter. The single shot with 2 damage. Possibly D2 heavy bolt. And from what I'm seeing is it's probably just to the Invictor. Probably not. None of this stuff's going to carry over to the Marine.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is going to mean heavy bolters are going to be 2 damage, which would be amazing, but we'll see.
Imperial Fist for that, right?
Yeah, right. Oh gosh, damage to heavy bolters. I think this is just they're playing the pistol part of this gun, so yeah.
Okay. Technical difficulties resolved. Thank you for your patience, everybody.
We just went
over the changes, so
Perfect. Cool. My job here is done. I'll
Excellent.
take my paycheck in the mail. Thank you very much.
I'll see you next week. Right. I believe the last image is the new Terminator that got leaked.
Oh my
So
god.
this is
A
the
spicy
craziest one
meatball.
for sure. So, if you guys haven't seen this yet, Terminators got +1 wound, which means they're now 3 wounds each.
Oh, my
That's
heart.
insane because the implications of this. Because now what does it mean? Chaos Terminators are 3 wounds. Does this mean that like other
What?
units are going to be buffed? There's rumors going around that Power Armored Marines are getting +1 health.
Ugh.
Stuff like that, which would be amazing, by the way. Being a Black Legion player, having 2 wound Chaos Marines would be amazing. I mean, having 3 wound Terminators already is pretty dang spicy. So,
Oh, man.
I
If-
mean,
do you guys think Terminators will see play because of this change? I know Terminators haven't been very popular for a long time now in 40k.
I think the specialty Terminators will see more play than they have been now. So like Deathwing, or maybe some Death Watch Terminators, or like what am I thinking of? Like, I guess if this is like a sweeping change and like Death Guard Terminators and stuff like that go up, I think all the ones that were already pretty decent or are already good are gonna go up. I don't think armies that didn't really run Terminators will be like, oh hey, we're gonna add that in. It's gonna be insane.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, who knows? It depends on how competitively they're priced, obviously. Because if they go up substantially, then that's going to be not good because they're already overcosted.
Right.
I'm curious to see how this folds out for Grey Knight Terminators in particular, because Paladins one of their whole big things is that they're 3 wounds each.
4 wounds.
So yeah, 4 wound Paladins. I mean,
it's gonna be a
we
scaling issue.
we custodies now, boys.
Oh man, and what Custodians gonna have 5 health now or something?
Do not say such things.
Don't say such evil words.
I can only get so excited.
That would be interesting, though, as a design aspect from Games Workshop, is to make everything more tanky.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that'll blow over well for everyone. That's Xenos.
Yeah.
Hey, Necrons got buffed with these leaks, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, the only thing I'm interested in is, well, one, if that 3 wounds transfers over to, heretics, that would be nice, because I feel the heretics, and I guess really only 1,000 Suns and Death Guard. I don't know about anyone else who Terminators. That 3 wounds will be nice on them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've seen people. Oh, go ahead.
And being a 1,000 Sun player, they buffed power swords according to this by giving them +1 strength.
Oh, did not notice that. Interesting.
Yeah. Good looking out.
So now my good old occult Terminators will now be strength 5 with their power sword.
Another interesting thing is that these weapon profiles do not contain a space for special rules for the weapon. So at least with just this as context, those power fists aren't -1 to hit.
That's true.
Aren't the power fists also what?
Oh, they've swapped it. Yeah, Chain Fist now do D3 and Power Fist do 2.
So now no more getting 1 damage with your power fist.
It's true. They also forgot the dash on the 4 for the Chain Fist, but that's besides the point.
It gives you plus for armor. Back fantasy.
Adds 4 to your armor.
Just gives you a little nice repair to your armor.
Killer. Crazy.
No, I can see Chaos Terminators seeing more play because of that extra health.
Yeah, dude.
And extra health, I mean,
it's an extra health. It's an extra wound,
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I mean, you can't get
yeah.
killed by 2 damage weapons either.
Right.
Which is honestly, I think, the biggest buff.
See if that love gets transferred over to there. Heretic Brothers.
I'm sure it will.
I sure hope so.
The question
Will.
is when.
When? Well, I would assume Chaos would be like
Right after Primaris become 3 wounds.
So, I'm fine with that, man. It means my power armored guys are 2 wounds.
Oh man. Oh, I don't want to think of these things.
I would assume Chaos wouldn't be going until about 2 months after these first 2 books get released.
It's fair.
All right, on. I don't think I put it in chat, but it should be the turret and the ATV.
Oh.
Yes, the rules came out for those.
I'm gonna just scroll up.
Oh, there they are. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, last week, making the rounds quite a bit. What do you guys want to start with? You want to start with the turret? You want to start with the ATV?
Let's start with the turret.
Yeah, the worst one.
Why do you gotta put it?
Because it's a goddamn drop turret. Don't know if we can swear on this. Goddamn drop turret.
Yeah, man,
Hey,
go ahead.
It walks 3 inches. It's
Why? Why in the hell does it move 3 inches?
See, that shocked me that it moves 3 inches. That's really weird.
It's is it like a hippity hop? Is it like a space shoes? What's going on? Does it have like desk chair rolly wheels at the bottom?
Well, it's like the rover that we put on Mars. It's gotta have a satellite bounce off rays to move it, and it takes a while for the information to get there, so it moves very slowly.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's I mean, oof.
Well, I mean, you can have it in a squad of 3.
Yeah, it's
Squad of
gonna
3,
be
5 wounds.
T5, 2-up armor save, which is just so ridiculous.
And it's got the vehicle keyword, so I mean, like one of our friends was saying, you take one, and you can just charge it into combat, and then start shooting into combat with it.
Just run it right up the board with its 3-inch movement. Make it white scars so it can advance and charge.
Oh man, that's funny.
Big brain plays. I'm the weapons it comes with are, one of them makes complete sense, and the other one is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire
A
life.
24-inch last talon, I'm assuming.
Why would you give a stationary turret a 24-inch gun? What's
Because
happening?
he's not stationary, dude. He moves 3 inches.
Why would you give a pseudo stationary turret? Oh man, that's gonna be pretty crazy though. If you can just, depending on how they're priced, if you just drop 3 of these in your enemy backfield with, what is that, heavy 4 on the last talon, so 12 strength 9 shots.
But they can't drop though because they don't have a drop rule. Unless you mean you outflank them somehow using the reserve rules, which would be amazing.
Well, so these data sheets don't contain any abilities thus far.
Oh, okay.
So theoretically, it could have deep strike.
Oh,
I'm assuming it will, but if it doesn't, yeah, then you just outflank it and bang boom.
yeah, easy, dude. Just outflank your your stationary turrets.
Mm-hmm.
You also got to remember that board is smaller.
Yes,
That's true. That's very true.
So
I guess I shouldn't rip on the 24 inches. Too bad.
depending on your point size, I mean, that board gets smaller.
Yeah, I mean, drop this guy right in the middle, and he covers basically the entire board now with 24 inches almost.
just 5 health, man. This thing is tough,
Dude. Yeah, and the 2-up armor, that thing is going to be awful to shift, especially
almost-
with like
Mhm.
Raven Guard.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's one of those things where like it's not unkillable, but you got to dedicate some stuff to removing it, which could be really annoying.
Yep, and no tying it up in combat to make it not shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part is, my Drukari can't even wound it on a 4+ because it's a vehicle.
It's a vehicle.
That's what you get for shooting dirty street needles that you got out of a dumpster.
Because we dumpster dive for it.
doesn't make it not cool.
Get those dark lances, man.
All right then. Then the one that's making the rounds, everyone's talking about the ATVs.
Yeah, boy.
So I've heard, again, you can take up to 3 of these in a squadron. I've heard it's about 285 points with the Melta-Gun.
How much?
285 or what?
For 3, right? Not
35.
1.
Yeah, for 3.
Okay.
Okay, I was like, whoa. What?
Like a Land Raider now? I mean,
I mean, it could
Repulsor,
be.
speed choice.
Yeah, for 3 of them, it's 285 or 230, 65. I can't remember which one it was, but pretty cheap for a squad of 3, especially with the crazy amount of damage this thing could do with the Melta-Gun. Which, by the way, Melta-Gun does +2 damage if it's within half range. So you could be doing a maximum of 8 damage. But, you know, what is it? The Devastation Doctrine? Turn 1? That's +3 damage right there.
Oh, for Imperial Fists?
No, that isn't.
No, +1 damage is only Imperial Fists. Devastator is just +1 AP or -1 AP.
Well, there was some combat doctrine that you guys, that's on like turn 1 for damage.
oh, it's for fists. Yeah.
It's just
+1
Imperial
damage.
Fist. Oh.
Yep, against vehicles and buildings, because you got to shoot all those buildings. Got to blow them up.
No,
All those buildings.
you can get that 3 damage flat on a vehicle.
Yeah,
You're
that
doing
is
4
pretty
damage
nasty.
minimum if you roll 1, 6.
Well, to literally no one's surprise, Knights will not be at the forefront this edition. Shocker.
Hey, man, you look at these Farsight server turrets with that, you're looking at what? 18 shots per squad, strength 7, -2, 3 damage with fists. Yeah. GTFO Knight players, I'm sorry.
So rough. It's crazy.
Knights will be. Just you wait.
I just play AT with the big boys.
Yeah, baby.
But you know, let's not look over the other gun they got. It's got its onslaught Gatling cannon. You know, heavy 8 shots, strength 5 -1 damage. Still what? 32 shots if you take 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, if this thing is 95-ish points or whatever, 285 times 3, and there's some suspicion that multi-melta rule might not actually be real, but we'll see what happens. If it is, that's going to be pure insanity. If that changes across like all the melta in the game, it's going to be awesome. But it also has the twin autoboat rifle on the front, so it's got another 6 shots there that are -1 in turn 2 and 3 if you keep it in tactical for turn 3. Or no, wait, assault might be turn 3.
Assault is tactical, Doctrine.
Is also tactical? Yes.
Yeah, it's pistols that are Doctrine.
That are assault doctrine, yes. So yeah, so turn 2 and 3, this thing is putting out was that 14 shots?
Yep.
Which is plus the guy has a bolt pistol apparently.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
Now that guy's just hanging out the side, turning it sideways, doing a drive-by, you know.
Yeah. And in an interesting turn of events, I know we'll talk about the rest of them later, but I guess it just didn't change, but Space Wolves their whole army is OBSEC right now, based on the ruling, or based on the way it's worded in their, their Defenders of Humanity or whatever it's called section. So their entire army is OBSEC. So Invader ATVs running around with the Gatling cannon set up, blowing 5 or 10 man chaff units off of objectives and just claiming that part of the board it's pretty tasty.
That sounds pretty scary, actually.
Yeah.
Especially when your whole army's OBSEC'd.
Yeah, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Just blow them off, good to go. Or don't, and then take it anyway. Absolutely nothing.
And as long as they're not object, you just have to be near it. Like, oh well, it's mine now.
I'll shoot you for free. Yeah, interesting thoughts. I think they're going to be good. I think if they're 90, 95-ish points, even like 100 points, I think they're going to see a lot of play.
Got your bike chaplain nearby. Let him needs a +1 wound when shooting. Yep.
Dang right.
It'll be a interesting batch. They've been making the rounds, and I know a lot of people are not happy about it.
Yeah.
And by that I mean
Xenos are never happy though.
we are never happy. We will never be satisfied.
It's because you're just jealous.
Where's Matt Ward? Let's bring Matt Ward back.
God, committing book suicide.
There's this meme I saw of it's one of those memes where like there's the Chaos Marine and the Space Marine shaking hands, saying like, "Look at us with our coherent narrative dating back from the Horus Heresy novels to now, you know, the epic struggle between the ruinous powers and the Emperor and his followers." And then there's just a Tyranid just screeching in the corner. Hey guys, I'm here.
Oh man, so good. Poor Tyranids.
I think that's all for the leakage.
Mm-hmm.
That's,
Yeah,
but
really
you know,
did mess that up.
yeah.
Yeah, me and Matt were joking. It's like we 30k now, boys, and 40k. Like Space Marines everywhere.
Oh, that would make me so sad.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that because it was a tournament that happened last week.
Okay, fill me in.
It's the was the Vanguard tournament, I believe.
Vanguard series, yes.
Vanguard series. This is why I have you here.
Yes, to get words and stuff.
Help me with vocabulary. My caveman brain can comprehend.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're just an Eldar player. I can't blame you.
Thank you. And I figured, you know, we'd take a look at the top 3 winners. Brought to you by Spiky Bit. And number 3, the person who came in 3rd place was Custodes.
A little fun fact about this list is the only list that beat the list that came in first. But the list that came in first, 90 or higher every single one of his opponents, but the Custodes player, and so won anyway, even though he lost his game.
Yeah. A little bit of look at the list here. So, as you well, what do you guys call yourself? Banana loyalists over there. I mean, tell me about this list, because
Yeah, you
I
want
don't
to
know
read it
much
after?
about it.
Yeah, I'll check this out. So it looks like there's a random Vindicare, which is the most Custodes thing ever. No. I got a shield captain with a spear. You got a shield captain on bike. You got a squad of 4 dudes with spears. And I see 5 Terminators. The Spear Dreadnought, the Contemporary Killers. Venatari. Wow. Okay, those are the Flash Gordon dudes for you guys who don't know.
The Rocketeer.
Yeah, those guys are sick. I was gonna pick some up, but I decided to go on the Aquilons instead. Going down here, we have some 4 bikes with the Melta missiles and the classic Telemon with double Elastus Accelerator, which is the autocannon thing, I believe. Oh, actually, no. It has that in a fist. Take it back. It's the classic 1 gun, 1 fist dreadnought. Okay,
Oh baby.
and that's the list. That's a cool list actually.
Yeah, that's really awesome actually.
The Flash Gordon dudes are like, wow, okay. But hey, they move 12, so.
Well, speed is key, and I know
Speed is
Custodes are not that fast unless they got their little jet bikes that they stole.
Also, the Venatari are all their guns are 2 damage, right? Something
Correct. Yes.
like strength 6 or something spicy like that.
So good old Primaris killers. Saying.
Exactly. Fast and they kill Primaris.
It's like Custodes were made to kill Space Marines or something.
Hey, don't put on your tinfoil hat now.
Hey man, I could quote my sources in Black Library. I always quote my sources.
It also looks like they were the Solar Watch Shield hosts, which is interesting because they're the ones that have the Warlord trait that gives, Sally Forth. It's the one that gives you +1 to your movement and charges, I think, or maybe advance and charge. I think movement and charge, but I can't remember exactly. But a little, again, more speed.
Speed for a slow army to get across the board.
Yeah, the Vindicare is an interesting pickup. That seems.
Oh, maybe he wanted to get those, like, those pesky little psychers out of the way.
Yeah, it's fair.
Better way than headshot him.
It's very fair.
Yeah, I have a Calexas in my list just because I just don't want to deal with psychers.
Yeah.
Period. Instead of trying to kill them, just -2 is much more preferable to me.
And that's what I'm going to put in my Black Templar army.
Ooh, nice.
All right. You got anything more to add to this list?
Looks fast. Looks like it's super durable, as is any Custodes list. The salvo launchers on the Virtus Predators is pretty cool. I think it's interesting, just because now they don't suffer a -1 to hit,
And they're free.
and they're free. They're looking real good. Salvo launchers are great. Got a melta gun and a pseudo melter, right? Because like rerolls wounds instead of double damage or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it also has the D3 shot, like anti-aircraft profile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this looks awesome. I really like it. And the Telemon is kitted up with the fist, so yeah, you can try to tie that guy up, and he's gonna smack.
Damn, I wish I bought some Birdsmen now. Damn, I'm looking at this. It's like, dude, because those are sick models. Those Vinatari.
You're telling me they're good? Oh god.
I know. I heard some game with their pistols though, because they're 18 inches, and with that stratagem where they double tap, you're looking at a lot of DACA from damage to DACA from a very mobile squad. So
do they double tap or do they get +1 shot?
they double tap.
Oh,
the stratagem is double tap.
Damn.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're already 2 shots each, right?
Yep. So you're looking at 4 per dude.
Strength 6 -2, 2 damage. Oh my
18
goodness.
inches.
Oh my goodness.
That sounds gross.
That's spicy.
Yeah.
That's a spicy meat.
Hey, kills Primaris, man. We always welcome that.
Oh, yes, that is accurate.
Heck yeah, we will.
All right, let's move on to the next guy. That was I didn't say the name. That was Aden Shepard Jones's list. Now we got Alex Petford's second place, Nurgle. Good old Papa Nurgle here.
It's gross, literally.
Say that. I mean, come on.
Let's
So
see.
I'll read off this. So he's got his patrol detachment of Chaos Nurgle. Got a Death Guard Demon Prince. Hellforged Sword and Wings. Got 3 squads of Nurglings. Travis saw last week how annoying Nurglings are.
Ugh, horrible little monsters.
Oh, dude, those things are awful. Got a Foul Blight spawn. It's contaminated.
Mm-hmm.
He took a Spearhead. Big company. Oxmongers. Took a Sorcerer. Did a spell. Sorcerer took a Plague Marines. 10 of them, it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in more Nurglings. According to the article, it was a why not throw. It's got 1, 2, 3 Plague Burst Crawlers, a Chaos Spawn, Biologist, Putrefier. Took a dedicated transport, Terrax pattern, Terminus Assault Drill.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And another patrol of demons. Took another Demon Prince with talons this time and wings.
Crazy.
And then another 3 squads of Nurglings.
Oh man, what a list!
That is pretty gross. He has, as Javis experienced, Nurgle has a lot of board control, and
Yeah.
they are hard to kill. And seeing how Nurglings can be up on the board, I use the word infiltrate. So they can infiltrate across the board. Uh, they're already sitting on all the objectives and scoring all the secondary objectives that a person needs. This guy's running six of these monsters. And that's a lot to get rid of. And he can hide them well, depending on the terrain.
And that's on top of all the other stuff that you have to kill.
Yeah, you got the 2 demon princes that you have to worry about. You got the 3 plague burst crawlers, which are 12 wounds apiece.
With the sorcerer has the iron gut or whatever it's called, so they have the 4-up invul save.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's spicy.
Plus all the disgusting resilience you have to go through.
Yeah, it's rough. This is a really durable list.
And he went with the entropy cannons.
Yep.
So you got the little mini. You got the las cannons.
Yeah, on all 3 of them, so six las cannon equivalents.
And indirect fire.
Yep, indirect fire, rerolling all wounds on all the guns. Yeah, that's pretty tasty, dude. This list looks rough. It doesn't have like the utmost killing power, obviously, but it's sure as hell not going anywhere anytime soon. Not without a lot of effort.
Well, as I tell my Death Guard friend, I'd say you don't need to kill anything. You just have to stay alive. And that's what your army does best. Stays alive.
It's true.
I could play custodians and kill people and stay alive.
That's true.
Okay, well, not everyone has that option in their army.
Sure you do, if you choose to buy into the Church of Bananas.
Yes.
Bananas away from me.
I do like the variety in this list, as it's not just spamming like one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Nurglings, they're troops, so I don't really count that. But
It's
you got your Terminators, you got your Plague Breeds, your Plague Burst Crawlers.
Yeah. 2 patrols. I feel like patrol spam is gonna. I mean, I know. The ruling on this was that you had to take patrol. What it said. The ruling being,
We'll never know.
nothing to note. Even though this was 2,000 points, only combat patrols were allowed. While you'll see a patrol.
Interesting.
But making a lot of my lists. Well, we could talk about that when we get down. Or so let's go to the winner. The man who got these points right here. 530 points.
The man who pushed a water bottle to victory. Classic.
This guy just dominated. Alex Harrison.
Alex Harrison, indeed. The man, the myth, the infamous legend.
He did Salamander's successor. You wanna take this one over?
Oh, Jesus,
dude.
yes. Yeah, sorry about that. Ooh, pardon me. So excited about these Astartes. Makes me so happy. Yeah. So do we all know who Alex Harrison is? I don't know if John knows who he is.
I don't know.
I am familiar with Alex Harrison.
Oh, Alex Harrison is the man who got banned from the LGT because he was declared a cheater.
Wait, is this the guy who like moved the
Pushed
terrain just a little bit on accident and then
his hammerhead with a water bottle? Yeah. Yep.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, classic. So now John knows for context. So one of the first winners is kind of infamous guy, and whether he's turned his habits around or not, it's just it's interesting to see.
I don't know, man. He took 9 Eradicators. That should tell you something.
Well, he played Space Marines at all, so he's a giant piece
You're
of crap.
right.
So
You're right.
that's fine. So he took a Salamander's successor, so they get all the good stuff and have none of the drawbacks. He took stealthy and long range marksman. So stealthy is plus 1 of your cover save outside of 12 inches, the Raven Guard equivalent, and then a long range marksman is additional range to your weapons. So these flamers that I'm assuming are further down are going to be shooting at 12 inches instead of 9, which is pretty good, or 11 instead of 8. Excuse me.
It's gross.
So you can, deep strike and then flame some stuff, which salamanders do very well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. He's got Trusted Prometheus, Exemplar Promethean Creed, and Chapter Master upgrades. I believe one of those is an extra Warlord stratagem, and the other one is an additional Relic stratagem. And then Chapter Master is just disgusting, and we all hate it, and they should get rid of it. Anyways, so leading us off here is a Captain on bike. He's got Thunder Hammer, Storm Shield, Warlord. He's the Warlord. No, he's the extra Warlord. So he's got Never Give Up. No idea what it does off the top of my head. We'll have to figure that out later. Salamander's Mantle is his relic, which I believe makes him very tanky. I don't know what any of these things do. You picked a good person to read this.
You're blind. We know because we totally placed.
I'll just pretend like I know what they are. I'm just gonna start exaggerating stuff. He's got 5 intercessors with assault bolters, 5 scouts, 2 with bolt guns, 2 with close combat. Maybe that was a points thing. It's just kind of a strange loadout. He's got here it comes. Here's the pizzazz. He's got a unit 5 aggressors with auto bolt gauntlets, which is the as of until now traditional way to load them out. Fire twice when they stand still are really disgusting when they're all boosted up. But he's got a unit of 6 aggressors with Flamestorm gauntlets, which in the Salamanders list is really crazy. You can make them auto full shot. You can make them +1 to wound. You can make them do mortal wounds for every hit. All sorts of crazy stuff. And now that they can deep strike and do that, even more powerful. It's I think probably a very useful tool to come in turn 2, 3, and just cut the heart out of your enemy's list, which is just disgusting.
Run and shoot these. Penalty.
That's true. You can run and shoot them. Yeah. But then they don't get a fire twice. But come see, come saw.
Depends how bad you really want that one unit.
That's very true. How fast you got to get it dead. So he's got a fast attack next with the unit of 3 Outriders, which are the new Indominus box bikes, which are real good. Big tanky boys. A Landspeeder Tempest, which is supposed to be all the rage right now, which is the Forge World Landspeeder variant, which is a closed top, and it can it's either once per turn or once per game, something like that, declare it's going into flyer mode and super turbo boost across the table.
That's interesting. Roll.
Yeah, but it's really cheap. It's pretty durable, and it's got a low shot, high strength gun. So salamanders are good for that. Heavy support. He's got 5 devastators with grav cannons and a drop pod and a cherub, which is pretty stock and standard for end of 8th edition Space Marines. Again, a nice little tool. And then we've got a Spearhead with the same Salamanders configuration, led by a Lieutenant with Jump Pack, a Obsidian Aquila Relic, which is a Feel No Pain Relic, and then 3 more aggressors with Flamestorm Gauntlets, because 6 plus 5, 11 of them wasn't enough already. 14 aggressors total. It's crazy. And then everybody's new favorite model to put in their Space Marine armies because they're just so good, the Eradicators, which are the Primaris Devastator equivalent kind of thing. They're in Gravis armor, and they have some super good melter rifles that they tote around, and they're only 120 points for a 3-man unit, which is madness.
Sounds gross.
Yeah. Oh, and Scorpius Whirlwind at the end there too.
Are these snipers?
No, they're like Devastators, so they're like a
They just
big
look like
chunky-
snipers.
Yeah, not Eliminators, Eradicators.
Ah, okay. I'm getting that.
Something getters.
Yes.
So, this list.
is it's filthy. It's dirty.
But it's winning. Isn't
Yeah,
that all that matters? That it's
Yeah.
winning.
it's winning and it's strong. It has so much offensive firepower. It's crazy. Everybody was like, "Oh, shooting your enemy off the table isn't going to be good anymore. You have to hold objectives."
I mean, I was in that.
Be- be- beta striking Space Marines would beg to differ. I mean, just look at this. The sheer volume of firepower this puts out is picking up like a third of your army every turn reliably. It's brutal. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's disgusting, the amount of eradicators this guy has. And not eradicators, I mean aggressors.
Yeah, dude. It's just a big fist that he can just take any part of the table with.
It's like Tau, but very.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. This list has a lot of teeth to it. That's for sure.
I didn't bring the picture, but I just want to give out the scores here really fast. So Adam, our custody guy, who took third place, got 469 points. Alex the Nurgle, he got 490 points. Alex Harrison is 530 points.
Yep.
Pretty much almost got 100 across the board except for his last game.
Those custodies, baby.
4 100s, 195, and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Should tell you how powerful this list. It looks like he probably tabled his really fast, or at least kept them off the objectives.
Yeah, he had a commanding lead in every single one of his games except the custodies game, which is crazy.
Oh. I don't really want to well on this one, but
Hey, custodies beat it, so I don't care.
true. I mean, it's not unbeatable, but
It is gross though. Looking at it.
It'll take a lot of luck.
Luck has nothing to do with it, man.
Luck's the name of the game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're playing 40k here. I'm playing some FFG predictable crap. This is rad.
He plays Space Marines. Luck has nothing to do with it.
Oh, but when you put it like that, then yeah, okay. I see what.
But yeah, what's next on the docket?
Well, today being Monday, got some new updates for 9th already. We got some point changes.
You video games now, boys.
Oh,
Get
baby.
your early updates.
Check the patch notes.
Yes. First up here, I have the new weapon point changes.
Oh.
So these are the only point changes that happened. No models got point changed or anything. Just weapons. So I don't know if anything stuck up to you. The only thing that stuck up to me was my Shadow Spectre Forge World unit for Eldar. Their prison rifles went down to 0 points. So now my 10-man squad just went down 150 points. I'm a little happy about
good.
that. I don't think they should be 387 points what they're at right now, but at 150 point drop, it's gonna make them a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if anything. Did you guys ever look at this today?
I did not have the chance.
Nothing really stuck out to me, at least.
No.
I can't search on here, but did this level out the Chaos Imperial Knight issue as well as the Taunar being super undercosted.
The town R went up in point.
Yeah. Now it's
Uh,
1040. Oh man, sweet. That's still pretty cheap though, considering it was like 12. What was it, like 1200 points? 10 to 8, something like that.
I have no idea. I never looked at the town R.
But yeah, that's pretty good. I think it made it through pretty well. And then yeah, it looks like Chaos Knight's weapons are now 0 and 10 points respectively, so they no longer cost a bunch of points still. So they'll be the same points as their Imperial counterparts.
That's good. Same.
Yep, yes they are.
I mean, they're gonna be destroyed by some dune buggies and walking turrets anyway. So
True.
Leave the walking turret out of this. We don't talk about it.
I didn't bring a picture of this, but for those who do care, they also did update the power level of all the units in their app today.
Oh.
So if you
okay.
play power, you'll have new power levels to play with.
So something to point out, if I could be wrong because I saw this at a random Facebook group, so they could just be messing around. But 10 intercessors are the same power level as 10 tactical marines.
Oh no.
What that means, I don't know, but that's what we know.
They're gonna charge as many points for Space Marines as Primary.
Cough, 2 health power armor dudes, cough.
I don't see what I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, I would just say, play power when you're learning the game, but quickly move over to point system. You'll see how much more balance and fun the game.
I played power when 8th came out, then when I played Death Guard, and then they made my guns cheaper, so I just switched to power just for the advantage. I mean, the points, excuse me.
Being able to bring whatever you want, because power doesn't accumulate for points, kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a silly way to get to know the game because it's just it's not realistic at all.
Yeah, especially for the horde armies, a little stupid.
Yeah,
They get outclassed very fast.
except for orc knobs, which costs the same power level whether they have a full unit of power claws or not.
So also the rulebook Errata came out, and I picked out a couple that were interesting to me.
Oh, interesting. Do go on.
Yeah. So as you see on screen, we got the smite nerf. So now it says the same psyker unit cannot attempt to manifest smite more than once during the same battle round. So they finally fixed that. So rest in peace, Magnus. 66 smite.
It's disgusting.
I didn't get to use it, so it's very very sad for me. I'm sure other players got to use it.
No, literally no one feels bad for you.
It's just it's my hopes and dreams relying on this lasting, a few more weeks.
And in true Games Workshop fashion, they crushed it very quickly.
Yes, they did. And then
that's amazing.
And then the other one I found interesting was maybe this has always been a thing, but multiple attacks that inflict mortal wounds. Basically just the order of it. So your unit makes multiple attacks that inflict mortal wounds. All normal damage inflicted by all of the attacking units are resolved before any mortal wounds are resolved. Found that a little bit interesting. That it's the normal damage goes first, and then mortal wounds happen. No more, I do a mortal wound, kill that guy off. Now you do all these saves.
Yeah, no more pick and choose. Now it's fully defined.
So that does reduce damage slightly across the board, right? Because you'd have your wasted 3 damage to a 2 wound unit thing before. Stuff like Mortal Wounds kicks in.
It wastes damage only if you're attacking into a multi-wound, multi-model, multi-wound unit that has one guy on less than full wounds.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Otherwise, the mortal wounds still spill over like normal, so it should level out. I mean, it depends on what you're hitting with what, obviously, but
okay.
But yeah, not too big a deal. I think this more just gets rid of that shenanigans of the pick and choose your own story action that would go on, and just clearly defines it. So there's no argument on it. It's just that's the way it is.
Makes sense to me.
Less feels bads.
Yeah, I usually like doing the mortal wound. So that one wound model dies, and then my 2 damage can spill over on those dirty Primaris Marines. But yes,
can't be having that.
Can't be having that. So I want fun? I don't think so.
You want fun? By Space Marines.
Play some Ultramarines. You'll have fun.
Oh no, I don't think I will.
Those were the 2 rules. Actually, the 2 rules that I saw that I found interesting. I mean, I don't know. Did you guys have a chance to look at the errata for the rule book?
I've been at work all day, so I haven't had a chance to see almost any of this. So it's fascinating to see for the first time.
I skimmed through it. It's mostly just clarifying stuff that we knew was a thing playing 8th, but in 9th, all those clarifications were gone, so they just kind of re-clarified it.
Yeah,
stuff like additional hits and all that.
Finally got the editor on it, and it's like, oh, how did this make it through Final Cut?
It's like, what do you mean the players are still fighting about and arguing about it? Didn't they clarify this last edition?
The one intern we have hand type all of our books didn't get all the stuff right.
Okay. That's got nothing on that. Then that's pretty much all I've got for that. I don't have any more stuff on the erratas that came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard any spicy news yet.
So I just want to talk a little bit about list creation, since we saw 3 tournament lists there.
Okay.
I want to pick your brains on what you guys think of when you make an army. What do you factor in?
Interesting. Okay. Would you like to take this one to start, Joe?
All right. So being the casual dude here, who is not very I don't exercise my army efficiency playing 40k. I have other games for that, which is fine. Usually I look at the theme of like, what does my army want to do? So for example, my Necrons. When I first started playing Warhammer, Necrons were like the Undying League. So first things first, 60 Necron warriors. That's my base. So now what makes Necron warriors better? I think of stuff like Cryptex, the new Reanimator, making sure like get those buffs to reanimation. And then I kind of say, okay, Necron warriors are pretty short range. So then I look at, okay, get some long range firepower in, get some new destroyers, trying to figure out if I should have that or the new Doomstalker, for example. So I guess my thought process is like, start with the theme, kind of go ham on that theme, and then see what holes I need to fill. And that's kind of how I do it.
Nice. Okay. I think it's a solid way to build the list. I mean, especially if you're not looking to like try to dominate somebody, then it's like this game is ultimately about having fun. So I think that's a great way to do it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, yeah. So when I am building my lists, it's usually, it depends on where I'm taking it, and it depends on which army it is. So, like, if I'm taking it just to local RTT stuff, then I usually know what I can expect in terms of the meta that's going to be there, quote unquote, really, really big air quotes for meta there. And so then I usually want to bring a list that is more tailored to that. So, like, up at our local game shop, we have lots and lots of Space Marine players, lots of them, which is unfortunate. But that usually influences my lists to lean towards like multi-damage weapons, stuff like we talked about earlier, things that skew towards beating that. So building a list towards the meta you're taking it to, but then there's also going to like an LVO, which is a meta that's so wide and deep and also has crazy top players at it. I usually focus slightly more on something that I'll enjoy rather than something that's going to utterly dominate, but still good. But I don't expect to win every game, so I want to be having fun for all those 6 games.
Oh, how I make my list. I put a lot of thought into them. I like to think. My group could probably think about it as I spam my group chat with a bunch of lists that I make all the time, hoping to get some feedback, hoping they tell me my lists are trash and how I can improve it. They don't usually do that, but
we're all yes men.
I hope they give me the critical I need, but I just made a Jukari list. That's my new army of 8th, and I might be going back to it just from the list that I made now, but seeing how I see 9th edition being more objective based, I see I want to capitalize on my speed that the Dark Eldar have. So it's like, what do I do? Well, I have a lot of Venoms, because Venom spam is the way to go with Dark Eldar. I've got a lot of boats, but I don't like playing that meta that much. I don't like playing the boats because I always like to add something that I think is cool. Mm-hmm. And usually whatever's cool is usually really bad in the Mandrakes. Yep. Mandrakes are cool, but no one ever ran Mandrakes. Grotesques are cool. No one ever really ran Grotesques. And I was like, how do I do this? So the list I made right now, I went 3 patrols just so I can get the raiding party bonus of extra 4 CP. I basically didn't lose any CP making the list.
Nice.
I went 2 patrols are basically the same. They're Blackheart, with just an Archon and 3 Cap White units, all in Venoms. So I got 6 Venoms running around with blasters. Their main job is to mainly just give me my secondary objectives. I'll be on the other side of the board, capture objectives on the other side just because of the speed they got. Then I went with my 3rd detachment being Homunculus Coven. And I normally go with Coven of Flesh, which is a 4-up invul save. But I decided to try something different. Why not? There's a Coven. I went with Custom Coven. The Coven that's making the rounds right now, where you can overcharge your shots that do +1 damage and +1 to wound. So with a Homunculus, a unit of 5 racks, because I gotta take 1 troop, and then 6 Talos, 2 squads of 3 with Haywire blasters, and a small unit of 5 Grotesques. Just my Homunculus save. And the second obsession I chose for them was something obsessed. I don't remember what it's called. Obsessed something. Basically, if they kill anything in combat, they regen a wound.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then Dark Technomancer is the shooting one. So basically, what I want to do is overcharge my Talos, because they got 2d3 shots with their Haywire gun.
Oh my goodness.
Let's be blunt here. They suck at shootings. They hit on 4s. So, you get, let's say, 3 shots minimum per Talos. If you hit, you're wounding on 3+ on winning 3+ on vehicles because they're +1 to wound, and you could be destroying vehicles like.
Is the 6 to do mortal wounds on the haywire a unmodified 6?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that would be brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as nasty as the Harlequins where they get D6 when they roll a 6. It's a D3 when they roll a 6. But remember, it's +1 damage, so you're doing 2 damage minimum. Your haywire. But
oh, that's nasty.
my little homunculus coven there, that's my Death Star. That just runs up the board, hopefully absorbing all the shots while my Venoms go around just capping objectives, injecting dirty needles into people.
Those are 2 damage needles, right?
No.
On the 6. No, they're not. Okay.
No. Only the homunculus coven.
Gotcha.
So basically the Talos are the only ones that will get that because.
Gotcha.
It's crazy. And then just, but they're black hearts, so they get 6 of feel no pain, which is makes them better at standing on an objective for a little while longer.
And so the goal is always to have. I always try to go for multiple threats, right? And I feel like with the army that I created, I have that because the Venoms are score me objectives, so they have to kill. They would have to shoot those to prevent me from getting points, but they're leaving my Death Star untouched, or they shoot my Death Star, but then all my Venoms get my points.
Yep.
So it's always I want to have multiple threats,
Yeah,
and that's what I always feel is lacking with my 1,000 Sun army, because it's like I've got Magnus. and
that's it.
That's about it. I mean, I got a big blob of Terminators and Rubrics, but not that hard to chew through.
Yeah. 1,000 Suns definitely lack in the threat saturation department.
But I feel like a lot of lists that I've been making lately, I've been, when 9th first hit, I was still in the mindset of, wow, I need to make this a battalion. Battalion's the best way to go. And after I've been creating a lot more lists, it's been, I should just be running a lot of patrols. Because that's what I've done with my 1,000 Suns now. I've made 2 patrols and run Magnus, just so I can get my Cold of Time and my Cold of Magic in there, plus Magnus.
Yep.
Ari, I mean, they benefited from it because it's run 3 detachments instead of 8th edition where you have to run 4. Possible. And I
have the same mentality too right now. I'm just thinking with battalions or brigade, well, not brigade, battalions as opposed to the new patrol thing.
I feel like patrol spam might be the way to go for certain armies. Not gonna work for everyone, but
right.
For certain armies, I think that's gonna be the best way to go.
Yep, definitely. Definitely the armies we mentioned last week that have internal souping.
Yes, remember that.
Yep. I mean, I was complaining on a little rant saying how sad I was about it, but like I said, after starting making a lot more lists, I was wrong. I'll admit that.
Look at you now, Matt. Look at you now.
Look at me now, coach. I think that's a good time to stop. I think we're gonna definitely have a lot more leaks coming out soon.
Oh yeah, baby.
With the new packaging, if they continue to make these mistakes, I think we'll have more stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be lacking. That's for sure.
I know August is mainly going to be AOS stuff, this month. Right? Isn't the High Elves coming out this month?
That's what I heard. Yeah,
Oh, finally.
but I could foresee a week where they release the ATV and the turret and the Necron stuff we were talking about, because the starter sets have the data sheets for those, so we'll be verifying what they do come this week once stores start getting their copies and people start opening those up.
It's true, yeah.
So we can start freaking out officially about the walking turret being crazy, wondering how to make the new destroyer really good. Because I really hope they have the destroyer code or something, so you could pop those, reroll everything on. It'd be amazing.
Man, yeah. That'd be a big loss if the Codex didn't get it.
Oh, forgot to mention. Starter sets did go on pre-order yesterday.
Get your mini, medium, and grande now.
There you go. Now, if you're still interested in that, I mean, I'm not gonna say you need to pre-order it or anything. It's finally coming out soon. Pick that up.
Get some more bikes. I mean, I have 6 score pick that I just finished up, so I don't think I need more.
There's always room for more.
Always room for more. What if you wanted to play 3,000 points?
So that's actually interesting, because I know we're joking, but people are saying that, like, maybe me included, you should wait before spamming those for the multi-kit to come out, because who knows, maybe especially for when they previewed the new sword dudes. Gosh, Blade Guard, there we go, having a multi-kit. So
yeah, I'm waiting on the new Blade Guard. I want to see what they want to do with that.
It's true. I was gonna say, but then you could also be the unfortunate soul who's still waiting for his multi-part kit for the Mephitic Blight Hauler from the last starter box.
that's never happening.
It's dead. Leave it alone.
All right then. Well, thank you all for joining us on our long rants and ramblings.
Oh yeah,
dozens of our fans.
Not much of a big dumpster fire, hopefully. But
we played 40k for a while. We've been through worse.
That's very true.
Not 7th yet.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
So thank you all for joining us, and see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Later, everyone.
Later.